heroes and villains.
He's missed it!
Glory.
It's a great run by Michael Owen, and he might finish it off!
And scandal.
Oh, that didn't hurt. Oh, dear. What
Lots of scandal.
Bribery, corruption, underhand dealings.
First of all, we were told he'd had a fit on the floor.
Don't bother learning the rules.
Now that's a booking.
Chop! Wallop!
It was just savage, absolutely savage.
It was an absolute scandal.
Without shocks, shame and controversy, the World Cup just wouldn't be the same.
It's a red card for David Beckham.
It's the feuding, fighting and showdowns
Red card for Ronaldinho.
that make the World Cup what it is.
The reaction from Laurent.
It was like, and one, and two.
Dubious decisions
The ball was in the back of the net, but it doesn't count.
It was like a 7-year-old's birthday party up the park.
malicious intentions
Oh, dearie me, Sturrock is brought crashing down.
and conspiracy theories galore.
It's got Stitch Up written all over it.
The World Cup's dirty, rotten scandals.
This must be unprecedented in World Cup history.
Germany, 1974. Herr Andy Capp. The tournament's in the land of the Hun, but it's still a time for celebration because only the third African nation ever to qualify for the World Cup are here. Welcome, Zaire.
It was very exciting to see an African team at the World Cup.
I knew that, I think everybody knew that Zaire weren't going anywhere.
But the Leopards arrived spurred on by the hopes of a continent and, more crucially, the rantings of Zaire's mad, mental dictator, President Mobutu.
He was the person who introduced the idea of secret police to sub-Saharan Africa. He took elements of Joseph Stalin, elements seemingly of Adolf Hitler. He looked sinister. Fear was the way he controlled his country.
And worryingly for the players, he had a sudden dangerous enthusiasm for football, promising the Leopards untold riches if they did well. He didn't expect them to win the cup, or perhaps even any games, but they must not embarrass their nation. Luckily, it was Scotland first.
Well, the Zairean team were effectively like a bunch of schoolboys on that first lineup against the Scottish team, who looked like a load of thugs. You were worried that they were going to get mullered like, 25-0 or something.
But predictably, the Scots make new boy Zaire look thoroughly respectable, managing just a 2-0 win. Perhaps the Scots were bamboozled by Zaire's clever tactic of acting like they didn't have a clue, for example, at defending free kicks.
Now, referee Schulenberg magnificently paces out the 10 yards, and that, he says, is where you've got to be. In fact, you've got all sorts of Zaire players much, much closer than 10 yards.
The wall was a shambles. It wasn't so much a wall as just like a group trying to avoid being hit by the ball.
For Lorimer, number 13, Nadai, is still darting in, and he's going to get booked if he does that again. And they've all run in.
Still, so far so good. They hadn't embarrassed themselves, their nation, or more importantly, their mentalist dictator. So the boys from Zaire go into their next game against Yugoslavia with their tails up.
And there's the first goal. 2-0. Number 3.
Terrifyingly for the Leopards, they find themselves 3-0 down inside 18 minutes.
That made Zaire look silly. They took the mickey. They thought, well, here are the whipping boys.
But then Zaire's chain-smoking coach, Zoran Vidinic, pulls off a tactical masterstroke and changes the keeper.
And the substitute goalkeeper is now just in time to face another of these free kicks. And Tubulandu's first job is to pick the ball out of the net. He hasn't even touched it.
Still, a change of goalie does help the Leopards equal a World Cup record, for the heaviest loss ever as they are slaughtered 9-0.
And there is the final whistle. The referee bringing it to an end, in fact, 10 seconds
short of the 45 minutes by my watch.
It wasn't rotten seeing an African team losing 9-0. It was a relief that it was only 9-0.
But it wasn't to Mobutu Sese Seko Koko Ungibendu Wazabanga, whose name means the all-powerful warrior who, because of his endurance and inflexible will to win, will go from conquest to conquest, leaving fire in his wake. So, as you can imagine, he was a bit miffed. So, enhancing his reputation as a leader of rare lunacy, Mobutu decides to take control of team affairs for their last group game. And to motivate the players, he comes up with a unique incentive.
Mobutu laid down one law, which was, don't humiliate me again. If you lose by 4 goals, you're in big trouble. He literally promised them that they would be flogged and perhaps tortured.
So, thank God the Leopards would only have to keep the score down against this mob.
Brazil attacking the goal to our left are in yellow shirts and blue shorts.
We were expecting that if it was 9-0 against Yugoslavia, it's going to be 20-30-0 against Brazil.
Defending as if their lives depended on it, and let's face it, they did.
Jairzinho gives it back.
Zaire only conceded once in the first half.
The fullback Nolinho up there. And there's the first goal, put in by Jairzinho.
Then came another.
Jairzinho for Rivellino. Crash.
Then, with 11 minutes to go, disaster.
That was better, and it's a goal. Terrible mistake by Kazadi.
Brazil are winning 3-0. If the Leopards want to see their wives and children again, they must not concede another goal.
It was really, really serious at this point now. And you think any moment now they're going to lose it.
And when Brazil win a free kick outside the area, it looks like Zaire face certain doom.
Zaire didn't show much sign of knowing how to line up a wall against Scotland. And they're not looking much more organised here.
This is the greatest thing you can do. Go into a sport. Don't bother learning the rules. The rules are for sissy. Right, no, he's not allowed in our wall.
And they are not wanting to have Nolinho in the line, and he's entitled to go and stand there.
So not only do we have to move it 10 paces back, but anyone's allowed in. Right, fine.
But then, out of nowhere, comes a moment of sheer off-the-cuff genius.
You stood there, you're thinking, oh my God, I love my wife, I love my kids, I need to get home. I tell you what, that ball is not coming anywhere near this goal.
Wait a minute. It's wacky, it's zany, it's off the wall, but it just might work.
Now that's a booking. That must be a booking by Moeto.
When you first see it, you think, hang on, no, that couldn't have happened. That couldn't have really happened.
Wepo's my hero. I wanted the ref to say, apparently he's allowed to.
And he goes like that. He goes, what? What's the big deal?
Can anyone blame Mwepu for kicking the opposition's dead balls when they were trying to protect their own from Mad Mobutu? They successfully kept the score down to 3-0, but were never ever paid by Mobutu. Nevertheless, even more than the boys from Brazil, it was Zaire's special brand of football that remains the highlight of the tournament.
Now that's a booking. That must be a booking by Moeto.
Hey, it's the swinging 60s, Daddy-O. The World Cup's over here, matches are beamed live for the first time ever, and of course, everyone knows England are going to win it. Groovy.
There's Jeff Hurst, number 10, the top scorer in the First Division.
But England only got to the final via the most scandalous match of the tournament, a quarter-final against Argentina, who would totally lose their cool, man.
There's been all sorts of allegations, especially coming out of the Argentinians ever since, that it was a fix.
Argentines generally are much more given to conspiracy theories, much more, the world's out to get us, and in particular the English.
Before meeting England, the Argies were stroppy because they felt a suspiciously large number of European refs were at the tournament, a strange, paranoid belief that was absolutely correct.
32 games in this World Cup, 25 of them are refereed by Europeans.
In their previous match against West Germany, there was a lot of argy-bargy, but it wasn't as if the Hun was shy of putting the boot in either.
That was a bad one.
Yet only Argentina received an official warning.
And Argentina are thinking, why are we the only ones being singled out here?
This is where the language problem becomes a bit of a difficulty. Mr. Zekovic from Yugoslavia.
It's got Stitch Up written all over it.